Hey there guys, thanks for tuning in. In this video I'm going to share one of my personal experiences with sleep paralysis. If you don't know what sleep paralysis is, it is basically when you are sleeping and you wake up but you don't quite wake up and you can't move and you can't control your breathing, that kind of thing, and you're conscious and you're awake but you're basically paralyzed. So that's why it's called sleep paralysis. But anyways, this is something very interesting to me, and it has happened a couple times in my life, and I never really knew what it was until recent years. But I'm going to get right into it. So my first story takes place about 5 years ago. I was about 20 years old at the time, and basically, I was asleep in my room. It was a warm summer night, and I slept all through the night, didn't have any trouble sleeping. But when I was waking up, probably 5 in the morning, something like that, I woke up basically, but I couldn't open my eyes. I could feel myself breathing, but it was that kind of breathing that you have when you're asleep, those long, slow breaths like that, and I wasn't consciously controlling my breathing, which was very strange. And I had my window open because the house I was living in at the time didn't have AC, so I could hear the cars driving down the highway right outside my window, and I could hear all the noises around me, but wasn't able to move, wasn't able to do anything. For a good probably, I'd say about 10-15 seconds, I was just kind of stuck there. And then I basically forced myself eventually to start moving, and I opened my eyes and I woke up. And that was that. That was my first experience. And now my second experience with sleep paralysis took place when I was quite a bit younger. I'd say this was probably like six or 7 years ago. And this one involved me falling asleep, and I actually got into a dream. So this dream was basically about me sitting in a church. It was like a big cathedral type of church, a big elaborate one, and real ornate, lots of artwork everywhere, and really elaborate architecture. But in the dream, all of a sudden I blacked out and I woke up on the floor, and the whole place was kind of flooded. There was like a good 5 or 6 inches of water on the ground, and all the church pews were smashed and destroyed, and there was splinters everywhere, and the whole place was just wrecked, right? And when I was lying on my side, I couldn't move again, except it was in a dream this time. I couldn't control my breathing. I couldn't speak. I couldn't do anything. And there was a priest, you could say, but he was bald, and his skin was real pale. It was real white looking, and he was wearing like a black cloak or a robe or a tunic, whatever you want to call it. And so I'm kind of looking at him sideways because I'm there laying on the floor, and I see him walking towards me, and he's walking faster and faster. He's getting closer and closer to me, and in the dream, that just terrified me. I wasn't comfortable with that at all, and yeah, pretty scary. Basically, right before he got to me, I woke up. So that was my second experience with sleep paralysis. I did have one more experience with sleep paralysis, and it was about, I'd say about 3 years ago, right before I moved out of that old house I was talking about. And this time, similar to the last one, it involved a dream. I'd fallen asleep, and I was asleep for a few hours probably, and again, it was a summer night, and my room was real hot. I had the window open to try to cool down a bit, and I was having this dream, like a nightmare you could say, about I was just in my bed and I couldn't move basically, and there was just like a dark figure standing next to my bed, just kind of looking at me, and I was real uncomfortable with it. Didn't want that figure in my room, and didn't want them next to me when I was paralyzed. But this one was definitely in the dream. But anyways, I woke up from that eventually. I kind of jolted myself awake, and I stood up out of my bed, and I went to go close my window that was right next to my bed, and looked out into this little yard that was out there, and I saw someone standing there that was dressed in kind of dark clothing, and they were looking up at me at the window, kind of like this, real wide-eyed. And I didn't have my contact lenses in, so I couldn't really see clearly. Everything was kind of blurry, and it was night. But there was someone out there, and they were looking up at my window. Now, this little yard out there that I'm talking about was like a public place where people could walk their dogs, and people take their dogs past there all the time. But definitely a weird coincidence, and who knows, maybe it was an entity of some kind and not a person. But yeah, it's definitely interesting to think about. And yeah, those are all my experiences with sleep paralysis. But yeah, anyways guys, just a quick little video, just a quick little story for you guys. If you did enjoy this video, or you want to see more like it, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't. I make videos about all kinds of things, and I'm still growing on YouTube, still getting better, still kind of learning what works and what doesn't work. But I'm gonna always try to put out good, high quality video, and something of conceivable value. And well, anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.